Hi Ben, so I'm going to attempt to do a video on the next bit of crop duster now, but before we do that I want you to recap on the scales and stuff we've done in the previous 3 videos. So if you're practicing this one before you've done the second Hallelujah video, don't. Go back to the second Hallelujah video I've just done and practice that one first, because I talk about the C sharp minor scale there. So assuming you've done that, let's recap on all of them. So first thing I want you to do is play me through the 3 scales. So E major first of all, both in similar motion, and slowly if you have to, because it's trickier, in contrary motion. And do that one sort of straight, so not swung. Pause the video, turn it back on once you've done that a few times. So let's say 3 of each. Welcome back. So now, all still on E, I want you to play me the E major chord. Should sound something like that. E, G sharp, B. And using that, I want you to play the arpeggio. Pause, say I do that a couple of times with the hands separately, then a couple of times hands together. Welcome back. Okay, on to A flat major. So remember, this starts obviously on an A flat on a black key, so we have to use a different finger pattern to make sure our thumbs only get the white notes. So we'll do this one swung, okay? Practice this a few times. Tricksy contrary motion one. Remember, if any of these you're really struggling with, don't worry, just make a note. We'll go through them in the lesson. But this way, I can kind of help guide you through your practice, and we can prioritise our lesson time on the things that you're finding difficult out of all this. So don't worry if there's stuff you think, crumbs, I really can't do this. That's what I'm there for, to help you with that. So contrary motion. Let's keep this one swung. And A flat major chord, and a couple of times hands separately, and a couple of times hands together, A flat major arpeggio. Remember, pause the video, consult the book for the fingering and so on and so forth. Doesn't matter how long it takes, just go through it sort of methodically, slowly. The point is, I'm going to keep sort of doing these at the beginning of these videos just to keep the scales and stuff cooking alongside the pieces. Last but not least, the one we did in the last video, C sharp minor. And C sharp minor chord. And C sharp minor arpeggio. Separately, then hands together. Okay, on to crop duster. So I'll pick this up from the last line of page 1, because I think that's where I looked at. Just a few things to go through on the score first, just to remind you of bits and pieces we talked about in the lessons before we play through it. So the first 2 bars of this section and the first 2 bars, of the 4th line of the next page, we've got these triplets. In fact, those 2 chunks are exactly the same, aren't they? Let's think about the rhythm for that first. So I'm just going to play that bar for you a couple of times. The difficulty is when you've got triplets, you can't really count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and anymore, because by definition the triplets come at, they don't come on 0, 50%, 100%, 150%, 200%. They come at 66.6 recurring, and then whatever 2/3 is as a decimal. My maths is 2 sort of 4/6. Ignore my maths. So you kind of have to suspend the counting a bit there in terms of the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's much more easy to do it sort of by feel. So I'm going to give you a demonstration. First half of this bar, so ignore the triplet, pretend the bar ends before the triplet. The rhythm there is fairly easy because we've got a crotchet, a crotchet chord tied to a quaver chord. So that's 1 1/2. Put it another way, 3 halves. So 1 and 2. It's 3 halves. 1 and 2. The two E and G chords up here both occupy a half. They're a quarter each, so they add up to a half. So the rhythm here we've got is 1 and 2 and. Those two have to share the last and. 1 and 2 and the left-hand chord, of course, comes in on the count of 2, like it does on pretty much all of this section of the piece. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So practice the first half with me. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. Now, when we add the triplet, it will sound something like this. And the last left-hand chord, you'll kind of hear what I mean, will still come on beat 4, but it will be just before the final right-hand chord, like this. Practice with me. And again. So now I'm going to do the next bar as well. Exactly the same rhythm, but obviously the notes change. So practice this along with me. Remember, pause if you need to get ready for a moment. Okay. Looking a bit further ahead, look at the second line of page 2 and look at the second to last bar. We've got a weird triplet here. So it's sort of the same in that it's 3 crotchets condensed into a triplet, but annoyingly the first of the crotchets is a rest. I'm talking about here, just in case, there you go. Which can really play havoc with the counting. So what you need to do when that happens is you need to sort of imagine that there's a note or a chord there to help keep you in time. What I'll do, I'm going to play that bar for you, but I'm going to play, instead of that rest there, I'm going to play this chord in its place, as if the rest had turned into a chord, and then I'll remove the chord and you hear what it would sound like. So this is it if I put a chord in place of the rest. 1 and 2 and. And again. 1 and 2 and. So this is it now if I remove the chord. I'll make a noise with my voice or something just to sort of fill the place of the lost chord. 1 and 2. Blur. And again. Blur. So it's kind of like the chords are a bit lazily walking towards the next bar. So it's, we'll do that bar going into the big long chord at the end of this line. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, I think we're ready to go through this section together. So remember, not fast. Try and sort of keep along with the speed I'm playing it now. This is how we're going to go. Okay. 1 and 2. Apologies if there are some wrong notes, because I'm sight reading this, but this is much more about getting the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 I'm out of breath. Okay, yeah, apologies for the wrong notes in there, but let's say rhythm. Happy practicing. As I said before, we'll do other sessions in the lessons and in the videos and stuff in the future where I'll play through these much more quickly, so you can practice playing along with me, but at a higher tempo. But it's crucial that you get really confident with the rhythms and stuff a bit slower first. Happy days.